The sun slowly sets above the Obos Big Air stage as we turn our attention to the main event. The contest that annually drops jaws. It's the men's snowboard Big Air final, and it starts right now. What's up, world? Brandon Graham alongside professional snowboarder slash the voice of snowboarding, Craig Mcmorris. This is the big one. This is the one we wait all year for.
X Games Norway has not disappointed. From the women's skate event to the women's big air, men's and women's skiing, to now this one. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this here, Brando. I'm fired up. We have a plethora of the world's greatest snowboarders about to descend on this big air. You saw the names of Chris Corning and Takaru Onitsuka. Now, they both qualified through that qualification process. Brando, we talked about it. That was cutthroat.
Chris Corning, one of 2 Americans in this field, had to earn his way in through the qualifier. How about the local boy, Marcus Cleveland? Can he put on a show in front of his home country?
Now he's coming off an injury. That's got to be said right out of the gate. So he hasn't been on his board that much, but that young man, he's been on his board quite a bit.
You could never count out little brother Mark Mcmorris, synonymous with big air, so successful. But let's talk about this gargantuan jump just dropped down from the heavens here in the Obos venue. So the boys are getting ready to take on this thing. Talk to us about this big air jump made of steel.
This is a piece of art, Brandon, and this piece of art, it's activated in Oslo. It's an art activation, if you will. This thing is huge, 200 feet tall. The riders have to descend this thing. What makes this so different than maybe a big air jump that you see at Buttermilk Aspen is that takeoff is so skinny. So you have to really, really be soft on your edge. You can't take these big carves out. You got to be ready for quite a short landing. And a lot shorter than we'll see maybe at Buttermilk. So the challenge out here is much tougher.
Very much so. How about this format specifically? We're shaking things up a little bit in 2018.
Instead of that jam format that we've seen at so many X Games Big Air, the format has changed. 3 runs, you have to land 2, and those 2 jumps that are scored cannot be the same trick. So you have to land 2 different tricks in 3 jumps. We're asking a lot of these guys, but I know that they can perform, Brando.
That way, Will, as you see them descend upon this thing, getting out of the elevator, 8 snowboarders, 3 runs, the 2 best count. No room for error.
We saw on the women's side, 7 of the 8 land their first run. It is so crucial to get one down in runs 1 and 2. If you do not land one run in 1 and 2, you're kind of out of it in round 3. So we saw a lot of the women take their easier trick and jump 1. Will we see the men do that, or will they be going hard to paint?
You just saw that start list. That's 8 cleanup hitters, my friend.
Yeah.
No weakness in this field, and we kick things off with Chris Corning. Hard to believe he had to qualify his way in. 8 guys in that qualifier. We only took 2 from it, and he was one of the 2. We saw him place 5th in Big Air and Aspen. This guy is not just a top 5 guy. This guy may not just be a podium guy. He's coming out at just 18 years old, wanting to win this thing outright.
Got a chip on his shoulder, and he's riding like it. In that qualification, back triple, 1440, grabbing melon, and then he did a flat frontside 1440, maybe a little couple off-kilter dips in that frontside 1440, but look for something 1440-ish here on run 1 of 3, Brando.
Here we go.
Chris Corning, back triple 1440. I was right. That's crazy. He wrenches the crowd. It's run 1.
Chris Corning has never been shook. He is certainly wise above his years. Hard to believe, just 18 years old, out of Silverthorne, Colorado, just missing the podium in Pyeongchang. Big Air in the Olympics, had to settle for 4th place. Wow.
That backside 1440 landed solidly, grabs melon front hand on that heel edge, 4 full rotations, 3 off kilter dips. That's how you start a final. I said this in the qualification in hockey. My coach always said, first shift, you either hit somebody or you get hit. Chris Corning, he hits the crowd with a back triple 1440.
So Chris Corning setting things off, going backside. We await his first run score.
.37 for Chris Corning. Now, folks, remember, each jump is scored out of 50. You gotta land 2 of the 3 jumps. They can't be the same trick either. So Chris Corning, he's off to the races in his first run.
This was our top-ranked qualifier from earlier today. Takeru Otsuka, all of 17 years old.
Otsuka went insane in the qualifying, and he goes insane again in the finals. Come on now. Okay.
Takeru, it's run number 1.
And he says, I'm going to do a frontside triple cork 1440, one of the scariest and most difficult tricks you can do in a big air. Takes off frontside. 3 full dips. Look at how blind the landing is. He can't see anything.
Frontside triple cork 1440.
Okay, look at this last flip. He's looking at the landing, and then he has to look back up the hill, put that snowboard nose down.
Craig, he says that's his favorite trick.
I don't believe him. I said that in qualifying. I don't believe that's your favorite trick. That's got to be one of the scariest high-risk maneuvers, and that's going to get you a 45 out of 50. I'm not good at math, but that puts him at first.
He likes to live dangerously. A 45 on the dot, setting the pace. That's how you do it in your X Games debut, no less. Here's Kyle Mack making his 5th X Games appearance. He's been oh so close, yet to find a medal in his X Games career.
Goofy-footed rider, that means right foot forward. Wow, Kyle Mack always brings something new, innovative, especially in the grab department, and makes no mistake on the grabs there, but a little bit of mistake on the English of the rotation, if you will. Need a little bit more curl on this backside 1440. Grab stale. Watch him switch here. That was him grabbing his knee. I was mistaken there. It was a little bit of a far angle. I usually don't make mistakes, and I apologize. So he was just going back triple 1440 with the stale fish grab. But as I said, need a little bit more curl to bring that one into the house.
Been a wonderful year for the Michigan kid, a silver medal in big air at the Olympics in South Korea, but still trying to get that first X Games medal. Yuki Kadono, feel like we've been talking about him forever, still just 22 years old, as talented as they come in all of snowboarding.
And the leader of this Japanese squad in slopestyle and big air.
Oh!
Wow, because of that, he does not hit the brake ever. Maybe the jump isn't big enough to do a backside triple 1620, but Yuki Kadono says, that's fine, I'll just try and land in the parking lot and break both of my ankles. Well, it's doing that. He's still smiling, though. That's the craziest thing.
That was a pullover for speeding, and I can't believe he tried to land that. So again, the big dogs come out swing and run number 1, which is all you can ask for.
We gotta expect that.
But man, you gotta land this first run in this 3-attempt format. So here is Sebastian Toutant, your Olympic gold medalist in big air earlier this year, already making his 12th X Games appearance. Yet to win this event, though. He's had more success in slopestyle. Still looking for that first big air gold medal.
One of the most talented gentlemen to ever step on a snowboard. I've had the pleasure of riding with Seb since we were young bucks. And you can literally suggest any trick, and he will try it, and 90% of the time he lands it.
Out of Montreal.
Frankly, it's frustrating.
Seb Toots, 25 years old.
He's taking off switch front side, going cab 1620.
Whoa,
oh!
whoa.
Okay. All right. He's dropping the mittens here, boys.
Not only that, it doesn't get any more proper than this, Craig. I feel like he was already unstrapping before he even made it down to the bottom.
Did you see that? There was 3 separate attempts at the grab. What is absolutely insane about that is the core strength you need to maintain that tuck while the G-forces are pulling at your body.
That's science.
He could be a fighter pilot out there. How did he pull that around?
Seb Toots feeling very good about that first run, and why the heck not? How will the judges score this thing at 42? Very solid, putting him into 2nd place early.
So Otsuka of Japan with that frontside triple 1440, currently sitting in first, pardon me, Toutant so close with that cab 1620. The judges definitely noticed him missing the grab off the top.
Here's Wonder Kid, 19 years old. Marcus Cleveland, the first person to ever land a quadruple cork in competition. Did it back in 2017, where he earned a silver, by the way.
Cleveland, that's just a clean backside 1440. Grabbed Indy, took note of Chris Corning, currently sitting in third with a 37. Says, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to grab Indy, make it my own, put a little style on it.
And again, as you said off the top, maybe not 100%.
Coming back from an injury, I mean, it is so tough to just get back into this level of snowboarding, let alone be it on a scaffolding jump in spring. I mean, this is tough conditions to really get your feet back, but Marcus Cleveland, he's been spinning backside triple 1440s for a minute now.
Our gold medalist in slopestyle at Aspen earlier this year, another silver he earned in big air this year, trying to get that first big air gold. Does it happen today in his home country? A 40 on the dot, good enough for third place. Max Perot, what more can we say about the 23-year-old? He's got the most X Games Snowboard big air gold medals in history with 4. What makes him so special?
He's only got 1 year. That's the top one. Boom, cap 1620. We just saw Seb Toots do that. He missed the grab right at the top. Max Perot makes absolutely no mistake. Taking off switch. Gaining enough air to spin 4.5 full times round while going off kilter 3 separate times within all of that? That's just a recipe for disaster for most folks, not Max Perot, though, as you mentioned, the most successful gold medalist in the big air event for that reason.
He's
and that reason
never
alone.
missed a podium in his big air career. It's just uncanny how automatic he is, Craig.
A lot of people talk about his riding as robotic, and what they're referring to is just the fact that, he takes off.
Yeah, it's not
he
an
lands.
insult at all.
No, not at all,
Yeah.
not at all. It's him landing every single time. He's got his tricks, and he lands them every single time.
We got a new leader of the clubhouse, 46.66, jumps Perot up into the top spot. Wow.
That was a very good 1620. Let me tell you what.
So rounding out our group of 8 here in tonight's final, Mark Mcmorris, 18 X Games starts, 15 medals, 7 of them gold.
Taking off left foot forward, his natural way of riding. He's going 1, 2, 3, frontside triple cork, 1440 from Mark Mcmorris. He saw Atsuka sitting pretty with a 45 with that same trick. Mark Mcmorris, he chucks it as well. 1, 2, 3. So difficult. Here's a great look. I mentioned this before. That landing on the front triple, so blind.
And let's not forget, our defending gold medalist from Big Air Norway last year. He's defending the title out here tonight.
He's got the belt walking into the ring. And this is where the heavyweights come
He's
to play.
feeling good, too. We were with him last night for dinner. He's relaxed.
Nice sushi dinner, actually.
Yeah, he was wearing a white linen suit.
Looked
Like he
he
just
got
came off a yacht.
from Miami. That was fun.
So we await Mark's score, picking up where he left off from last year. Again, Mark Mcmorris is just synonymous with X Games success, a 43.66, which is an incredible score. In any other contest, I'd probably put him in the top spot, but the level of riding so elevated, only good enough for third, but we're just getting started.
The
Craig.
beautiful thing, everybody's got 1 in the bank. You need a land 2 if you want to be on the podium. We got runs 2 and 3 coming up in just a minute's time, Brando. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's just getting started.
Welcome back to X Games Norway, the men's snowboard big air final where Max Perot just laid down the gauntlet with a humongous 46.66 to take the overall lead.
What got him that specifically was the perfection in which he executed a cab 1620. He's sitting atop the leaderboard, but Brando, that format, you gotta land 2 jumps. That's what I love about it. He's sitting in first, but everybody on that leaderboard has a chance to catch him. We're in for one.
We're just getting started here. Run 1 in the book, so we begin again. Attempt number 2 time. Chris Corning put down a very respectable 37 on that first run, but you just saw the level of riding increase with each rider throughout those first attempts, so now he finds himself in 6th place.
Will Chris Corning do the same 2 jumps he did in that qualification? I'm excited to see, dropping in right foot forward. I think we're going to see that frontside 1440 right here. Hey, how you doing? Chris Corning puts it down, just as he did in that qualification. He's got that back and front 1440 lock.
And for those fans just tuning in now, wondering about this format and the scoring, a little different. Remind us at home, it's not about the 2 highest scores. You got to do things a little differently.
You can't just do the exact same trick. Now, Chris Corning in run 1 did a back triple 1440. That got him a 37. He can't just do a back triple 1440 again. That jump would not be scored. He's got to do something different, as you saw there, that front side 1440. So you take your 2 highest trick total scores, add them together from those 2 different tricks. That gives you your final score. Each jump scored out of 50, Brando.
As you mentioned, coming out of the qualifier today, needless to say, a lot of snowboarding for Chris Corning out here today.
And that's such a long day. I mean, all of this big air events have been contested today. Qualifications, practices, men's and women's ski also being contested in between all these finals. So it's a long day for Chris Corning, but he's showing no fatigue.
So Corning going frontside, upping his score 38.66. He takes over the top spot. Here's Takeru Atsuka.
Cab triple 1440. Okay, everybody keep your head up.
Whoa.
Japan is coming with a vengeance. Okay. That is definitely going to put Atsuka into 1st place. Run 1, frontside triple 1440. Run 2, takes off cab. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to take off switch and land switch. Cab 1440, switch Indy on that. Almost goes truck driver a little bit there. I don't know if he's really meaning to grab that. You see that right hand almost touching his snowboard. You're grabbing Indy and melon at the same time. They call it a truck driver. Why? Because it looks like you're holding a steering wheel.
Very similar. Our top-ranked qualifier, and there you see why, 17 years old, Takeru Atsuka. After that absurd 45 right out the gate, trying to get that 2nd score in another direction.
I think it's going to be higher than a 45 in my opinion. He took off switch, landed switch. It was extremely well executed. The cleanliness was through the roof.
Max Perot currently with that single high score of the 46.66. Does he overtake that?
I would say so, yes. I would say so. Also of note, when we mentioned that qualification, Corning and Atsuka had to qualify. The rest of the field had to bye straight to final.
Judges really looking at this one as we're early in run number 2 here in the final. 46 on the dot, so he bests his run 1 score. And he takes over 1st place, a 91 overall. Craig Mcmorris, a score in the 90s has traditionally been a podium finish in this event.
We're the 2nd rider into run 2, and we all got a 91 on the board.
It's
Where
silly.
do you go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So here's Kyle Mack. Did not land his 1st run. Still in search of that first X Games medal.
1440, Japan. He saw Atsuka of Japan put one down. He goes ahead and grabs Japan.
Yeah.
That's when you grab around the outside of your knee with your front hand and you really twang it back like Kyle Mack does, right? Boom, there.
Shot out of a cannon, Craig.
That's a tough grab to do unto itself. Then why don't you try and add a backside triple cork 1440 in the middle of that? That's just a recipe for disaster, but Kyle Mack, he makes no mistake. I really like in this one how you kind of have to let go of the grab a little bit on that trick due to the nature of it. But Kyle Mack stays in a ball. He doesn't open up once he lets go of the grab. I think the judges will really like that.
My goodness, Kyle Mack needed a big trick. He needs a high score to stay in contention and make the most noise possible on his 3rd and final attempt. Obviously, getting rid of that 5 will help. But how much will he climb? So remember, Kyle Mack and Yuki Kadona were the only guys not to land a trick on their first attempt. Mack changes that on run number 2, but how is he going to get scored? Wow, a 44, very strong for Kyle Mack, and he's putting himself exactly where he wants to be heading into final attempts. All of a sudden, that 5, it never mattered.
Talk about standing up to the pressure. You have to land one of your first 2 jumps. Kyle Mack on his second jump puts down a heater.
So here's Yuki Kadona. Was absolutely flying off this jump on run number 1.
That's how you backside 1620. Okay. Run 1, he almost landed in the parking lot. Run 2, he slows up a little bit and adds some more ups on this takeoff. One of the best backside takeoffs in the game. You have to have so much precision, especially in these snow conditions. 71 Fahrenheit, I believe, plus 19 out here.
Thank you, finally. We can get out of Celsius for just a second.
What that does to the snow is it makes it very slushy, and when the snow is slushy, it's really hard to push off against. You need to be so delicate on your edge.
Remember, it was the backside triple cork 16s that helped him get the bronze in Aspen just a few months ago, so we'll see if he climbs that ladder. But Yuki Kadona getting the score he needed right there, a 30. So here's Sebastian Toutant, who was just filthy on run number 1.
Cap 1620, triple dipped it, missed the grab almost on the entirety of the first rotation, somehow had the core strength to hold it together, and then sauces a backside 1440 out for the folks. Now what I have to draw to your attention, if you will, Brando, is the fact that we just saw Yuki Kadona go, he did a back 1620, so he does this, but he adds another 180 onto that. They both have the exact same grab. I just don't believe that Seb is going to have a score in the 40s, which we've seen a number of people already put down.
Clearly, Otsuka already proving that you're going to need 2 mid to high 40s to really contend for a medal out here. He's already got that 42. And you are correct, sir. A 37.33 jumps him up into second place. But again, still a lot of guys left to drop with more attempts to go. Here is Marcus Cleveland. Had a 40 going backside on run number 1.
Dropping and switch. He's going cap 1620 as well. Okay, that seems to be the trick of the night so far.
There are a lot of Marcus Cleveland fans out here tonight.
Really gets it going on that takeoff there. So hard to be patient on that switch frontside rotation, but Cleveland knows that patience is a virtue and practices it daily. Cab 1620. I also got to jump back there. I don't know if Yuki Kadona did a back 1620 or a back 12 double. He was spinning so fast. Tough little angle there because he has a 30.
Right.
As his score. So
which makes us think that it was a 12
Yeah, and
double.
I might have made a mistake on that because I thought he was really underscored for a 1620. But I digress. I do not want to be a judge right now. There have been a lot of really well-executed 1620s.
So Tom Zekas and the boys trying to figure this one out for Marcus Cleveland. So Cleveland's in 7th. He will not stay there for long with this one, but where will they put him on his run 2 score?
Making him wait.
Again, Takaruka Otsuka leading the way through 2 runs with a ridiculous 91 overall. Marcus Cleveland trying a steady build.
Which one is he? There's the one in front.
A 46.33 for Marcus Cleveland, jumping him all the way up into silver medal position. Feels about right, partner?
Story checks out, folks. Story checks out. I love this format because every time somebody throws down a hammer, the podium, well, it changes.
And unlike the jam format, when it's timed, as soon as you hit on that landing, you're immediately jumping on the sled, coming back up. You're not really necessarily doing the math until you get up there. Now you know exactly what you need. Here's Max Perot sitting in fifth.
Oh! Front side triple cork 1440. We saw Otsuka and Mcmorris put that one down. Max Perot trying to add to that huge cap 1620 he did. Was so close.
This is the sunglass camera that we've been utilizing.
Literally the eye of the tiger angle, we call that.
So after we were singing his praises in run number 1 of being perhaps the most automatic in this field, uncharacteristically going down on run number 2, setting up an immense level of pressure for him on final runs.
Now, we talked about his precision. That frontside triple cork, I can't speak to it enough. So difficult. When you see Max Perot go down on it, you know it's a tough one.
So here's Mark Mcmorris, put down a 43.66 on his first attempt. Where does little brother go here to climb up the ladder and get into podium position?
We've seen him do a switchback triple 1620, and we've seen him do a back triple 1620. Coming in on this one, backside. Has to get going.
Oh!
Just not enough juice to get the back triple 1620 around. And you see when he grabs his knee there, you know that he's judging his rotation. He knows that he needs a lot more if he wants to put it down, and obviously just not getting it up. Getting the head up, base down.
Wow. So Mark will have to replace that 8.66 on the final attempt. After seeing guys knock it out of the park on attempt number 1, different story after run number 2.
I love this format. You see everybody throw down hammers off the top, and then everybody's got to reach a little bit deeper into that bag of tricks. You see the difficulty rise, you see some lands, you see some falls, and what it does, Brando, it all sets up run 3.
We are in for a treat, perhaps the best finish we've ever seen in men's snowboard big air. Stay with us, find out right after this. Wow, what a finish we are in store for here at X Games Norway. It's third and final run time here in the men's snowboard big air final. Max Perot with the single highest score, but Takeru Otsuka the highest in first place right now with that 91 overall. These guys are gonna go for broke, you know that, Craig.
Run number 3, it all comes down to this. Under the lights, as the sun is setting, the end to a perfect day. You need almost a perfect score if you want to get yourself on that podium. I mean, Max Perot sitting pretty with that 46.66 with that cap 1620. He did that so perfectly. Not a single bobble.
There you see. Run 3 time begins right now. We switch up the start order based on single highest score, which means Yuki Kadono is the first to drop in. His highest score so far today, a 30 on run number 2. A little discrepancy on what trick was actually landed from him.
I called a back 1620, but it was a back double 12. I mean, these guys are going like whirling dervishes. Can you blame me?
We'll watch the tape after, as we always do. I could have sworn you said 12 right out the gate.
Maybe I did. I don't know. No, I definitely called it 1620. And I was wondering why he got such a low score. Now, Yuki Kadono on run 3 of 3. He knows he needed a heater. That sigh says it all. The frontside triple 1440 we saw take out Max Perot, who is currently sitting with our highest single score. He will probably try that trick again, but Yuki Kadono's day is done here in X Games Norway.
Tough one for Yuki, but all smiles out here today. So here's Chris Corning. We've been telling you the story all night long. Was in an 8-man qualifier earlier today, way earlier today, and only 2 advanced. He was one of them. He's now sitting in 4th place. He's landed his first 2 runs, yet to score in the 40s though, and we know now he's gonna need that in a big way.
Where does Corning go from here? He's dropping in goofy. Maybe quad? 2, 3. Oh my
gosh!
It looked like he was gonna go quad for a second, then somehow, like cat-like reflexes, comes out of it and puts down a 16-20.
We know he has the quad. We didn't expect to see it out here tonight, but he came oh so close.
It looked like he was gonna dip again. There's 1, there's 2, 3, and then it looks like he's gonna go for it and comes out of it, puts down that back 16-20. So he's gonna have to throw away that first score of his, that backside triple 1440. This 1620 will obviously up that. He's gonna add that to this front side 1440. Will it bump him ahead of Sebastian Touton?
Seb Toots currently in front of him in that bronze medal position. Is it enough? Chris Corning needs something in the 40s to jump up. Did he do enough, Craig?
I mean, if the judges gave him a 37 for that backside triple 1440 on his first run, I would assume that this back 1620 scores a little bit higher. The degree of difficulty is just a little bit higher on that trick, and what do you know?
And he does just that, a 45. Puts Corning into bronze medal position. Of course, the guy he just bumped, Sebastian Touton, is naturally the next rider to drop in.
You can't script this, Brando.
Well, we did, technically. We didn't know the storylines were going to happen like this, but the start order was
We're
done
more
during
improv
commercial
guys,
break.
hey? Yeah.
Just jazz. Okay, so here's Seb Toots. He just got bumped out of the podium. What's he got?
Oh my goodness, Seb Toots. I knew on that takeoff he wasn't rotating as fast as he needed for something 1620-ish, and you can see here, he's not gonna give up though. He tries to fight it around, but that landing punches back. He still needed almost 90 degrees on that, but the kid is tough as nails.
God, it's hard to believe, Craig, after what he did on run number 1, that he's just gonna miss out on the podium.
That cab 1620 was so perfect, has to opt for that back 1440. I like the way he approached this though. He put down those 2 scores, and then on run 3 went for the 1620. I mean, this isn't that big of a jump to do a 1620. You gotta get going right off the start.
Okay, so here's Mark Mcmorris trying to add to his 15 X Games medals. He's won this event outright 3 times before. This is it. The final attempt for Mark Mcmorris. After that 43.66 on run number 1, he's got to clean up what happened on his second attempt.
Went back 1620 on run 2. Opting for that trick again, gotta get going. Oh my goodness.
Now you mentioned midair, gotta get going.
And what I mean by that, Brando, is this jump, it's not the biggest jump in the world. I mean, to do 4.5 full rotations, you have to be spinning so fast, and Mcmorris not quite able to get that 1620 around, but you gotta commend him for going for it. I mean, him and Sebastian Touton, when you're spinning in the air like that, you know how soon the landing's coming up, and it takes a lot of guts to hold on to the grab and flip till you hit.
Globally, there are few bigger than Mark Mcmorris. Such a fan favorite, even here in Norway. Not the finish he was looking for, unfortunately. But the show moves on. Kyle Mack, after not starting out the way we'd expect, not landing that first run, put down a very strong second attempt with a 44 overall.
Oh my goodness. Kyle Mack You never, when he drops in, you have no idea what he is going to do. Going front 1440, I think it was. Tail grab. Or was that 1800? I couldn't even count. It was a tough angle, camera angle off the start to really know. Nevertheless, he didn't land. That's a score of 4. That's not going to do anything for that 44. So Kyle Mack's day is done.
Takeru Otsuka, in his X Games debut, is currently leading this thing, Craig. How does he play it on his final attempt with still a couple guys left that could catch him?
I mean, you know that they're nipping at your heels. You got to get going. That was cab 12. Okay, Takeru. He goes cab 12. He saw a lot of guys going for that cab 16, 20. He knew he didn't have it. Smart decision.
But again, Craig, after posting a 45 and a 46, what more can you ask from the 17-year-old?
I mean, just to get through that qualifier earlier today, that is a win unto itself. That's something you put in your cap. That's the feather in your cap. But then to be leading the finals after 3 runs with very few riders left to go, that's another feather in your cap. It's going to be really tough to beat a 91.
Will that 91 hold up with 2 superstars yet to drop in for their final attempts?
Can I drop a little knowledge on you really quick?
We're here.
The last time men's and women's big air gold medalists were from the same country, 2000, in Mount Snow.
18 years. Kokomo Murase already proving that on the ladies' side. Can Otsuka do that? But here's Marcus Cleveland, currently in silver medal position.
Oh my goodness. Cleveland, 16-20 on him, and then just gets in a car accident here. Boom, right out the front. These guys are pushing this jump to the absolute limits. When you see the world's best going that far down the landing and exploding, I mean, that just speaks to them going for it.
Okay, it all comes down to this, the moment we've all been waiting for. Max Perot needs a big score here to potentially take over the top spot. A 45 would essentially give him the win.
In jump 2, he tried a front triple 1440. Landed with too much weight on the front foot, went right out the front. Will he do that again? Will it be enough, though, Brando?
He fell on his second attempt. It all comes down to this.
Oh my goodness! Otsuka with the gold Japan! Men's and women's gold medals in big air, as I said before.
18 years since we've seen that happen.
Who was it? Peter Line and Tara Dakitis of the US of A, but there is a new country in big air, Brando, the land of the rising sun.
The second time we've seen a Japanese rider win gold on the male side in big air. Of course, Yuki Kadono doing it here in Oslo 2 years ago, but tonight, this year, 2018, it's all about 17-year-old Takeru Otsuka making his X Games debut and winning gold. Let's head down to Jack Mitrani, who's with our gold medalist.
Chuck Carroll, it is your rookie debut here. Earlier you saw your fellow countrywoman Kokomo put it down. Did that inspire you to land everything that you just did?
今回初めてルーキーとして出て、で女子でココモちゃんがルーキーで優勝しました。その影響ってあった？
He said he's speechless? I understand that.
He says he's very nervous. Very excited too.
すごい
Has this been a dream for you your entire life? Give it up for him, everybody.
He said, watching Kokomo's run.
すごいこっちもやる気にさせられたし、まあすごいココモにあげられたっていうのもあります。
Yeah, it's all about Kokomo who puts his motivation up.
Well, congratulations to Japan on an incredible day today. And as they say in Japanese, Yoshimose to X Games. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
What a night for big air here at X Games Norway. What a night for Japan. Takeru Otsuka, 17 years old, X Games rookie, winning this thing outright. Of course, congratulations to Marcus Cleveland and Chris Corning rounding out our podium.
I mean, 13 years old and 17-year-old in big air snowboarding? They weren't even born the last time that fact I dropped was. 2000, Peter Leitner and Nikitas, these two weren't even born. And they win that big air title. What a show, Brando. I had such a fun time.
What an extraordinary finish. Otsuka taking the lead early in run 2, and he never looked back. What a day it's been here at X Games Norway on both the ski and snowboard side. History made, first times all day long. Couldn't have scripted any better. There you see bronze medalist Chris Corning, his first X Games medal. What a year it's been for the 18-year-old Colorado kid. And I've just been told as Marcus Cleveland gets ready to accept his silver medal, this is the youngest men's snowboard big air gold medalist about to pop up here since Sage Kotzenberg 7 years ago.
Well, what do you know, eh? The youth. I mean, we say it every year, but never truer than in 2018. Marcus Cleveland has got to be happy.
Yeah.
He's got to be ecstatic about
Home
that.
country.
He has not been snowboarding very much. And then to just strap in, probably fresh boots, and go hard in the paint on a scaffolding big air, and the amount of pressure a Norwegian faces here, this is a snowboard superpower. The fans here, they get snowboarding. And for Marcus Cleveland to put it down when all the pressure counts, I mean, he's got to be very happy with that silver medal. This young man, though, he's got to be ecstatic about a gold.
I don't know what more can be said about Takeru Otsuka. I don't know what more can be said about Japanese big air snowboarding. To qualify out of that 8-man field, to be the youngest one in that field, and to qualify first overall, to drop in on this contest and win it tonight in your X Games debut, just simply extraordinary.
Two rookies on the women's side and the men's side, both rookies, both from Japan. I mean, whenever we come into these events, Brandon, we're always speculating who we think's gonna win. And it's easy to go with the favorites. Nobody in their right mind would have saw this.
Never, never. You look at this list: Marcus Cleveland, Sebastian Toutant, Max Perot, Mark Mcmorris, Yuki Kadono, and I'm here to tell you Takeru Otsuka wins it? What if I told you that an hour ago?
I would have called you insane.
What if I told you that 15 minutes ago?
I still would have called you insane.
Guy was just trying to qualify into this final, and then he wins it because, of course. Should be noted, just got this little nug. First time Mark Mcmorris, by the way, has not medaled at an X Games. Also the first time Max Perot has missed a podium in big air. Not an eventful night for the Canadians.
No comment.
What a night it's been, headlined by the youth movement, specifically from Japan.